Attention, if want to know and fully understand the content, keep watching until the end of the video. It's very important to concentrate and pay attention to the details. So, let's start the journey in the fantastic world of prehistory. Life Evolution, Episode 9, Title, Triassic Period. Triassic Period Time Range. Triassic Period, in geologic time, is the first period of the Mesozoic era. The Triassic Period is also the shortest period of the Mesozoic era. It began 252 million years ago from the close of the Permian period and ended 201 million years ago when it was succeeded by the Jurassic period. The Triassic period covers approximately 51 million years of Earth history. What is the Triassic period? The Triassic is a geological period and system which extends between 252 million to 201 million years ago. It is the first period of the Mesozoic era and lies between the Permian and Jurassic periods. Period discovery. The German geologist, Friedrich August von Alberti, who first marked the Triassic period. He discovered, in 1834, that rocks throughout Germany and northwestern Europe, of a certain age, contained a unique fossil fauna. He found 3 distinct rock layers. That is because he named it the Triassic. He realized that, the closer he got to the end of the period, the fewer fossils were available. Which clearly indicates an extinction event. The Triassic period strata distribution. Rocks and fossils of Triassic age are found on all the modern continents and indicate the unity of a single Triassic supercontinent, the Pangea land mass. The Triassic period paleogeography. In the early Triassic, the Pangea supercontinent was a letter C-shaped land mass. The Panthalassa Ocean and the Tethys Sea are still present. From middle to late Triassic, the Gondwana and the Laurasia land masses start to break apart. The movement of the 2 resulting supercontinents was caused by sea floor spreading at the mid-ocean ridge lying at the bottom of the Tethys Sea. The Triassic period climate. The Triassic period climates is very complex, driven by a combination of changes in the Earth's orbital cyclicity and geological activity associated with the breakup of continental plates. Flooding of the continents to form shallow seas did not occur due to low sea levels. Much of the inland area was isolated from the cooling and moist effects of the ocean. This generated global results such as arid and dry climate and no polar ice caps. The presence of coal-rich sequences in the high northern and southern latitudes, as well as the presence of large amphibians there, indicate that the climate was wetter in those areas. In addition to deserts, areas of low-growing vegetation abound in the middle latitudes, including savannas or fern prairies with dry and nutrient-poor soil. Some studies indicates that the climate was generally very dry over much of the Pangea continent, with very hot summers and cold winters in the continental interior. A highly seasonal monsoon climate prevailed nearer to the coastal regions. Although the climate was more moderate, farther from the equator, it was generally warmer than today, with no polar ice caps. The Triassic period plant life. Land plants were very affected by the Permian Triassic crisis, just like were the land animals. In the early Triassic, the dominant plants were the ferns. In the middle Triassic, the gymnosperms were the dominant plants. Gymnosperms, they are plants having exposed seeds. Some types of gymnosperms are the cycadeoids, an extinct order. The cycads and ginkgos are still extant. In the late Triassic, forests of conifers runs the show. Their best-known fossil remains are preserved in the Upper Triassic Chinle Formation. Forests were only able to grow around the edges of Pangea. Away from the desert interior of Pangea, many plants were able to grow, despite the hot and humid conditions. In the north, conifers were dominant, with forests springing up in the northern polar region. In the south, the seed fern Glossopteris, was the dominant tree. Tree ferns, club mosses, and horsetails also flourished around coastal areas of Pangea. The Triassic period marine life. Marine invertebrates, found in the Triassic fossil record, are gastropods, bivalves, brachiopods, bryozoans, corals, sponges, foraminiferans, and echinoderms. These groups are either poorly represented or completely absent in the early Triassic rocks, but increase in importance later in the period. Fossils of fish from the Triassic period are very uniform, which indicates that just a few families survived the extinction. The mid to late Triassic period shows the first development of modern stony corals and a time of modest reef building activity in the shallower waters of the Tethys Sea near the coasts of Pangea. Early in the Triassic, a group of reptiles from the order Ichthyosauria returned to the ocean. The ichthyosaurs evolved and became dominant for a period of time. One genus, the Nyasasaurus, measured more than 50 feet long, something about 15 meters. And probably weighed close to 30 tons, something about 27 metric tons. The plesiosaurs were also present, but not as large as those of the Jurassic period. Sharks, turtles, and bony fishes were also present in the Triassic period. The Triassic period, flying animals. During the Mesozoic era, including the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods, the pterosaurs emerged. Pterosaurs are often confused with the dinosaurs, but they are not dinosaurs. Although pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, both pterosaurs and dinosaurs, they are archosaurs. Archosaurs are also known as the ruling reptiles, a group to which birds and crocodiles also belong. Pterosaurs were not only the first reptiles capable of flight, they were also the first vertebrates able to fly. The Rhamphorhynchoids were the first pterosaurs, and they are found in deposits from the late Triassic epoch. This is about 229 million to 200 million years ago. Genera of this group include Eudimorphodon and Peteinosaurus, both found in Italian Triassic deposits. The Triassic period terrestrial life. The Triassic amphibians. Amphibians were very impacted by the Permian-Triassic extinction event. But a few of them survived. Fossils of amphibians in the Triassic rock layers are found in many continents. Some of them are: 1. Africa. 2. Antarctica. 3. Asia. 4. Europe. 5. North America. 6. Oceania. 7. South America. Insects, they are very versatile creatures. After the end Permian extinction event that devastated the terrestrial ecosystem, once again, they adapted and evolved. Spiders, scorpions, millipedes, and centipedes survived, as well as the newer groups of beetles. The only new insect group of the Triassic was the grasshoppers. The Mesozoic era is often known as the Age of Reptiles. Two groups of animals survived the Permian extinction: the Therapsids, which were the mammal-like reptiles, and the more reptilian, the Archosaurs. In the early Triassic, the Therapsids started dominant. One genus, the Lystrosaurus, has been nicknamed the Permian Triassic Noah, as fossils of this animal predate the mass extinction, but are also commonly found in the early Triassic strata. But in the mid-Triassic, something started to change. The Therapsids, most of them became extinct. And the more reptilian Archosaurs were clearly dominant. The Archosaurs, also known as the ruling reptiles, now runs the show. An extinct group of Archosaurs. The Rhamphorhynchoids were terrestrial apex predators of the Triassic period. Important information. The first mammals theories, and the first dinosaurs theories. The Morganucodon, and their relatives, the Megazostrodon. These two animals emerged on late Triassic. Some studies indicates that they are the very first mammals. And others says that they do not belong to the crown group mammals. However, once they are mammalia forms, that's where everything starts. They were very small, and have nocturnal habits. They had an incredible ability to process sounds and smells. This was probably in order to avoid being in competition with the reptiles, or becoming prey to the dinosaurs. Yes, the mammals lived side by side with the so feared dinosaurs. Well, now, let's talk a little bit about dinosaurs. Primarily, researchers found the Eoraptor and the Herrerasaurus. The Eoraptor and the Herrerasaurus location is South America, northwestern Argentina. The fossil records dates from late Triassic, something about 230 million years ago. And they thought they were the very first dinosaurs. But something happened. Some researchers found the Nyasasaurus. The Nyasasaurus was discovered in Africa. Its fossils have been found in places such as Njombe and Malawi. Njombe is located in Tanzania. Primarily studies indicated the Nyasasaurus time is Anisian stage, Middle Triassic, something about 247.2 million years ago. But more recent studies indicate it is Carnian stage, Late Triassic, something about 237 million years ago. It reduces the time difference drastically. Well, like always happens in the paleontology academic world, there is a discussion about if they are or not real dinosaurs. However, like I always say, no matter if they are or not real dinosaurs, that's where everything started. The Triassic extinction events. The Triassic period is marked for at least two mass extinction events. One happened in the beginning of the period, and other marks the end of the period. The Permian-Triassic mass extinction, which occurred about 252 million years ago, was the most severe biotic crisis in the Phanerozoic eon, eliminating more than 90% of marine and 75% of terrestrial species. The most accepted theory is the Siberian Traps volcanic eruptions. This event happened at the beginning of the Triassic period. Now, let's talk about the end of the period. The end Triassic extinction, also called Triassic-Jurassic extinction, is a global extinction event occurring at the end of the Triassic period, about 252 million to 201 million years ago, that resulted in the demise of some 76% of all marine and terrestrial species, and about 20% of all taxonomic families. The end Triassic extinction event is not so drastic, like the end Permian extinction. The end Triassic extinction particularly affected the ammonoids and conodonts. Many families of brachiopods, gastropods, bivalves, and marine reptiles also became extinct. On land, a great part of the vertebrate fauna disappeared, although the dinosaurs, pterosaurs, crocodiles, turtles, mammals, and fishes were little affected by the transition. It's not entirely clear what caused the end Triassic extinction, although most scientists agree on massive volcanic eruptions from a large region known as the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province. There is also theories about an asteroid impact. Well, no matters what happened, the mass extinction over land and marine fauna is a real fact. Undoubtedly, the Triassic period has a lot of key elements in the history of the evolution of life on our planet. Like, for example, the first mammals, or the first dinosaurs. And several other species of animals and plants adapting and evolving alongside them, on land, skies, and in the seas, even after mass extinction events. If you are watching the video until now, don't forget to watch more videos. The Dinopedia channel is full of content about prehistoric creatures, facts, and events. And also, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.